Hi, my name is Austin Zoot, and welcome to the Zoot Perspective Web Congregation. In this week's Torah portion, we've got a lot of interesting components and a lot of interesting phrases. We're still in the book of Deuteronomy, and God is preparing the people to enter the land of Israel. There is a certain apprehension. You can tell that God, as the character of God in this passage, is anxious about what's going to happen when the people head into the land. How are they going to respond? How are they going to take over the land? And much of Deuteronomy has been, if you don't do what I've told you to do, these are the horrible things that will happen to you. Here are all the horrors and the terrors that will beseech you if you fail to acknowledge the laws that I've laid out before you. But this week we see a change of track a little bit. We see a change in the rhetoric that God is using to inspire the people and drive the people to keeping the commandments that they've been given and keeping the Torah alive in their hearts and in their behavior. There's two elements that work perfectly together, and they're almost bookending the entire portion. The first is this phrase. God is talking about the law that God has given and all of the things that go into it. And God says, the law is not just for you, but for all people who stand here and who aren't here yet. All the people who don't stand here in this moment. It's this moment of preparation, this people are being held accountable for what happens in this law, whether they're present in this space or not. I take that to mean that everyone, whether they were standing at Sinai or not, is a part of this covenant, including us, the people of today. We have an opportunity to read this Torah and read this text and internalize it into the experiences that we have every day to make it modern, make it contemporary, make it right now, which is exactly what we do here at the Zoot Perspective Web Congregation. It works perfectly for what we do. We were at Sinai, even though we weren't physically at Sinai. We were just as important to that moment because of our presence now, because of our desire to internalize the Torah, internalize this important text, and become members of Kehilat Yisrael, the people of Israel, the community of Israel. Now, the second portion is just a little bit later in the text. We see God is talking about this law, this concept is not in heaven. It is not so far away. It's not across the sea, but it is right here. It is right next to you. It is in your mouth and in your heart and in your mind. God's talking about the text isn't so lofty that it's impossible for you to understand. You don't need a translator. You don't need rabbis and thoughtful people to have any meaning for the Torah. You can find meaning in this text. You can find meaning in this passage with yourself, and because these things are in your heart and they're in your mouth and they're in your mind, they are so present, they're so right there ready for you. All you have to do is acknowledge their presence and take them into those places and be willing to internalize them and make them part of who you are. Now, that's not to say that we don't need rabbis, because that sure wouldn't be good for my career prospect. But there's so much in this Torah portion about what we can take in terms of our Judaism for our future, where Judaism is going, and how important it is that we continue to look at the Torah. We continue to keep it close to us, and we continue to look to find meaning, because the Torah is right here in our hearts. We just have to be looking for it. That's my take on this week's Torah portion. It has been almost exactly a year since we started this little endeavor, trying to create an online web community based around the Torah portions. And this week is a perfect summation. We were all present. This means something to all of us. The Torah has value. We just need to go looking for it, even in today's modern sense. And also, the Torah is right there. It's there for us to reach out and take and find meaning for ourselves and to internalize and bring into our hearts. If that doesn't describe what I've been trying to do this year and with this program, I don't know what does. Thank you so much for being a part of it, whether you've been watching just this week or all year round. Thank you so much. I'm very excited to see what happens. Rosh Hashanah is today, tomorrow, depending on when you're viewing it. It's coming up. It's a wonderful time of year. Shana Tova. I'm so grateful that I have gotten to share this year with you. Please don't forget to donate to my GoFundMe page. The link can be found below. And thank you so much. Shabbat Shalom and Shana Tova.